In a week, of course, of which Trump Turnberry was supposedly all about opening a golf course, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, has managed, of course, to keep himself once again back in the spotlight. Some people might say for all the wrong reasons over here in the United Kingdom, right? And what was interesting, and we've mentioned this on the show before, the toe-curlingly squirming embarrassment that was, of course, Keir Starmer sitting next to the President of the United States. Well, President Trump announced to the rest of the world that he thought the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, was doing a terrible job and was a nasty person. Feebly, the only thing that the Prime Minister could offer was, "Oh, he's a friend of mine." Possibly the worst and wrong answer you could ever come up with, really, coupled with the likes of Keir stumbling as he came out of number 10 a couple of weeks back. Remember that? I mean, how do you not know where the steps are? You live there. It's embarrassing, isn't it, on every level? What's interesting, though, is now, as we look forward to the return of President Trump back over here in September for his second official state visit, well, apparently he's planning to drop another bomb on Keir Starmer, this time via His Majesty the King. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Nice to have your company. Are you all right? I'm not so bad, thank you. Politics and show business, I often say this to people, it is almost intertwining. Now, whether you're a fan of President Trump or not, he knows how to get himself in the headlines. As I said, many years ago, I was lucky enough to interview him for the NBC show The Apprentice, and I knew at that point that he knew how to get himself out there. There are very few people like that. Barack Obama had that sort of charm that could transcend through the television screen. Not many of these people do. I mean, we could certainly say that about Keir Starmer, could we? Gordon Brown was another one. Nice man, but just couldn't transmit through the camera lens. That's part and parcel of the problem. The one thing, of course, is when you're good at transmitting your whatever you want to call it, feelings, your exact thoughts, well, we kind of like unfiltered thoughts over here. It's as simple as that. We just do. And the reason being is quite simply this, we like to know where we stand. For so long now, we've lived in the wokeratory world where people are offended, don't say this, don't do that. And then along comes somebody from another country who says this. And so many people agreed with the President of the United States. Now, what's interesting is apparently a lot of people are very nervous now about Trump meeting, of course, His Majesty the King on his second official state visit. We know that he's so far not been allowed to speak in Parliament because, amazingly, Parliament are on their recess. I wonder who timed that, Sir Keir? But what's interesting here is, of course, that while Keir may think he's now got rid of the worst, even though he decided not to promote any of it on his own social media platforms, almost basically saying the meeting never happened, but the world saw how ineffectual Keir Starmer was. Well, according to a very well-placed source, until recently, the President of the United States had no idea about this. Amazing, yes. We all know, of course, that Sir Keir Starmer is no fan of the British monarchy, alongside so many inside the party, including our current Culture Secretary, Lisa Nandy, who famously said that she'd rather see Harry and Meghan on the throne rather than, of course, the current King and Queen. Embarrassing to say the least. Now it's come to the attention of the President, and he's found out the fact that, as you can see, Sir Keir Starmer said he would be all in favour of scrapping the monarchy. It's on record, it's on camera, it's in print. Now, according to a very well-placed source, and I think many of you know who I'm dealing with on this, what's fascinating is that apparently he plans to bring this up while over here in the United Kingdom. Now, I'm honestly not sure at this point whether this will be in the public domain, whether it will be simply privately, maybe over lunch or afternoon tea or something like that. But you can imagine the fact that he's not going to hold back. You see, whichever way you look at it, Sir Keir Starmer really did back the wrong horse and simply should have either said nothing about the current Mayor of London being a friend of his, or simply just sat back and let it ride out and continue with business. This is what you get when you wait 14 years for someone who says the adults are in the room now, they're in charge. Well, the adults are acting like children, and the one person that's definitely ruling the roost is the President of the United States. And we already know that he and His Majesty the King do get on incredibly well. This is going to be an explosive visit. It's developing, and as ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Shawn in the very heart of